So sometimes it's more than just being able to paint it relating to another color to get the same effect. Right.
It's always that way. It's always how it sits next to something else, you know. Now here, I don't have the reference to tell me what to do, so I'm just laying color down and seeing how it works in the painting. Because the reference has these trees. See how I'm bringing up the trees? Remember at the very beginning of this, I said, you know, these trees are in the middle ground, right? They feel like they're a lot closer to me. But when you look at the reference, the trees, if you were back far enough, you can't tell the difference between the trees and a mountain at all. But here, see, I need something to make this feel close, that feel a little further away, and that feel further away. Right now, I got these kind of too close because they're supposed to sit behind this right here. So I'm always thinking distances, and I'm always thinking foreground, middle ground, background. This is the process of painting landscapes, what we're talking about today. I don't know what you might have thought ahead of time, but I find most people think that we just get a photo and copy it, you know, and if it's a good photo, you get a good landscape. Really not. There's a lot more thinking going on, a lot more considering of aesthetic principles than just that. See, I'm going to come up with a color, and you know, the longer I spend on this, a lot of people, they say to me, well, John, how can you keep spending time and have your painting get better? Because for them, after a certain period of time, their painting doesn't get any better. Different artists think differently. But for me, my process is so much an analyzing of what's going on, how things compare to and relate to one another. And as long as I can keep catching those relationships and going, this isn't working here because of this reason. And it's always based on a principle, some principle. See, that's a great little color for that tree back there. It's pushing the tree a little bit further. It's not so bright. It's getting a little light and shadow. It's colorful, but it's gray. You know, now I'm thinking, okay, how's the chroma working with this? What am I going to do now about the trees there? So.
The green you put over there on the far left.
Here?
Seems awfully close to your ground plane up front.
Then I might have to lighten my ground plane. You see? It's a process of going back and forth. Because, you know, now I have a choice. I darken that up, I darken the shadow up. Do I want that? You know, how is this relating to that? So if this is working pretty well there, then maybe what I need to do is come through here, and I'm really glad you're catching that. I mean, those are the questions we're asking ourselves when we go to paint. You know, now do I have room? You see, you get what I'm saying? I get excited because I just think this is the funnest part of painting. Is this we're composing, we're making a painting, and it's almost like putting a puzzle together. It's intriguing that way, you know. You see what I'm saying? How that, now you're thinking, well, maybe I should darken this. No, maybe what I should do is lighten this. Now that's that color there. Maybe what I need is a little bit more chroma here. And if it's all green, that doesn't look good. What if I were to throw a little red in the mix too in a couple of places? Help break it up a little bit, you know. And I'll paint some areas and it'll look worse than it did before. I'm not worried. I'm not going to freak out because I lost a good passage, because I'm so committed to the process. I just know that this is it. This is how it works. You're going to lose some areas, you're going to gain some areas. And then at the end of it, hopefully it all comes together. It never does. It never does to the point where you're happy with it, but you keep trying.
Surely you must have some that you think, oh, that's pretty good.
I have little passages that I'm happy with in a painting. But, you know, the truth is your eye always remains ahead of your ability, and so you never get to the place where you're going, I have arrived. But you guys get the idea in just the demo here. So we can spend more time, but it's, you know, you can see the direction it's heading, and you can see the basic principles. I mean, what's left? Drawing. You know, shapes in trees. Remember I said shapes are the heart of this? But the shapes go on top of your large masses. They go on top of the fundamental of the composition. The fundamental of the composition is one large mass, one medium-sized mass, and then finding your focal somewhere in the composition. I would imagine the focal is somewhere here because that's where the river is leading to. It's a directional line S pattern leading in there. I wish I were better, so I wouldn't have to redo them, so, you know.
But the thought there gets to be how anybody that collects your work ought to see the effort that you put into it and that you're never satisfied with it. I think, you know, I think that should be admired.
Yeah.
Instead of, I'm John Poon.
And we have a painting that's 20 years old.
Right.
And it was a great painting of John Poon's.
Yeah, they won't let
20
me
years ago.
touch that.
A great painting of John Poon's today is a different painting.
Yeah, I don't paint like that anymore.